Hi, how are you all? Welcome to today's class. With the last video, we have completed our second lesson. Today, in this video, we can start our third lesson, that is metals and non-metals. In our ninth standard, we have studied about matter. Do you remember what is matter? Matter is anything that has mass and needs space to occupy. That can be called as matter. So, all the things that we can see around us can be called as matter, because all those things which we can see around us are having mass and they need space to occupy. Now, which are some examples of matter that we can around us? Chair, table, books, pen, pencil, then air, water, all these are examples of different kinds of matter. Okay, then why these matters are different in nature? Different kinds of matter are having different properties and they are having different size, shape, color, etc., isn't it? Why they are looking different? What is the reason for that? It is because these different kinds of matter are made with different types of elements. So altogether, these all kinds of matter made with different kinds of elements. Okay. So total 118 elements are there. Out of this 118, 92 elements are naturally occurring elements. The rest are man-made elements. So the all types of matter that we can see around us are made with these elements. Okay. Now, these elements can be classified into two categories, that is metals and non-metals. The elements which are exhibiting some kind of properties can be called as metals, and the elements which are exhibiting some other kind of properties can be called as non-metals. And there is one more category, that is there are few elements which are exhibiting both metallic and non-metallic character. Such elements are said to be metalloids. Okay, so out of the 118 elements, 80% of elements are metals. Some of the elements are non-metals and a very few are metalloids.
This figure shows the arrangement of different elements and their classification into metals, nonmetals, and metalloids.
Now, can you give some examples for metals? Gold, copper, aluminium, iron, then sodium, potassium, all these are metals. Then can you give some examples for non-metals? The gases present in air, that is oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, chlorine, all these are examples for non-metals.
Like that, carbon, sulfur, phosphorus, these are also nonmetals.
Now, how can we distinguish a given element is a metal or a non-metal? For that, we have to check its properties. The properties which we can identify by seeing or touching. Such properties can be called as its physical properties. So by identifying or by checking its physical properties, we can tell that whether it is a metal or a non-metal. Okay. So first we can study about the physical properties. So what are the physical properties of these metals and non-metals? Already we have studied in 8th standard. We can just recall it. Okay. So first about the physical properties of metals. Do you remember what were the physical properties of metals that we have studied in 8th standard? First one is lustrous. What do you mean by lustrous? All the metals, if they are new, they are having a shiny appearance. That we know, isn't it? Whenever we are buying a gold ornament or a silver ornament, that is having a shiny appearance. And not only this gold and silver, if it is a aluminium or iron, if it is new, that is having a shiny appearance. And that property of metal is known as lustrous. So most of the metals are having a shiny appearance. So we can tell that most of the metals are lustrous. That is the first physical property. Then what about the second one? When we are considering the examples of metals, iron, gold, silver, etc., all these are solid in nature. All these metals are solid and they are very hard in nature. They are very hard also, isn't it? We cannot compress by touching. So we can tell that most of the metals are very hard and they are existing as solid at room temperature. But here there is one exceptional case. Have you heard about mercury? It is a metal, but it is existing as a liquid. Okay, so mercury is a metal, but it is existing as a liquid at room temperature. Then there are some other metals, that is gallium and cesium. They are also metals, but they are having low melting point. That means when we are taking on in our palm, it will start melting and it is changing into liquid. This gallium and cesium are solids at room temperature, but when we are taking in our palm, it will start melting and changing into liquid. So we can tell that these two elements, these two metals are having very low melting point. Okay. Then, what is the next one? Have you seen the aluminium foil? Aluminium is a metal that we know, isn't it? And how it is made into an aluminium foil? It's a very thin sheet, isn't it? So all metals can be made into very thin sheet. That property of metal is known as malleability. Or we can tell that metals are malleable.
So, the property of metals by which they can be made into very thin sheet-like structure. It is known as malleability, and gold is the most malleable metal.
Okay. Then, what is the next property? Have you seen copper wire used for carrying electricity? And a very thin wire is used for conducting electricity, isn't it? So, just like copper, all metals can be made into thin wire. That property of metal is known as ductility. So, the metals can be made into thin wires. That property of metal is known as ductility, or we can tell that metals are ductile. Then, why we are using copper for conducting, for carrying electricity? Because it is a good conductor of electricity. Not only copper, most of the metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. Okay, but here also there is one exceptional case, lead. It's a metal, but it cannot conduct electricity. So, lead is a metal, but it is a poor conductor of electricity. Okay. We know that iron, copper, aluminium, these metals are very hard in nature, isn't it? And to melt these metals, we have to heat to a high temperature, isn't it? That means their melting point is very high. So, in most of the cases, the melting point of metals are very high. But here there is some exceptional cases that I already told, that is gallium and cesium, they are having very low melting points. Okay. Then these metals, most of them are very hard in nature, but here there are some exceptional cases, that is sodium and potassium. They are also metals, but they are very soft. We can cut these metals with a knife. That much soft they are. Okay, so here there is some exceptional case, that is sodium and potassium. They are metals, but they are very soft. We can cut with a knife. That much soft they are. Okay. These are the physical properties of metals. Now we can discuss about the physical properties of non-metals. Normally, these non-metals are having just opposite character of metals. Already we have studied in the case of metals, they are very hard solids. But in the case of non-metals, they are not that much hard. They are soft in nature. And all non-metals are not solids. They can exist in three different physical states. That is, some of the non-metals are existing as solids, some of them are existing as liquids, and some of them are existing as gases. Can you tell examples for solid non-metals? Coal, that is carbon. Carbon is a non-metal and it is existing as a solid. Then like that, phosphorus and sulfur. These are examples for solid non-metals. Like that, liquid non-metal, only one is there, that is bromine. Okay, so the only liquid non-metal is bromine. What about the gases non-metals? So many are there, that is oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, chlorine. All these are examples for gaseous non-metals. Okay, so unlike metals, non-metals are existing in three different states: solids, liquids and gases, and they are not that much hard. Okay, then already we have studied in the case of metals, they are very lustrous, but in the case of non-metals, they are not having any lustrous appearance. Most of the non-metals are not lustrous, no shiny appearance. But here there is an exceptional case, that is iodine. It's a non-metal, but it is having a shiny appearance. That is an exceptional case. Okay, you have to remember these exceptional cases. Like the diamond. Have you seen diamond? Very precious, isn't it? This diamond is made with carbon. That is a non-metal, but it is having a shiny appearance, isn't it? It is very lustrous. So that also an exceptional case. Diamond, it is made with the non-metal carbon, but it is having a shiny appearance. So this is the second physical property of non-metal. Then the third one is In the case of metals, we have seen that they are malleable. We can made into thin sheet. But these non-metals are not malleable. That means hydrogen, oxygen, chlorine, these are gases. How can we make them into thin sheet? So they are not malleable. But here some solid non-metals are there, like carbon, phosphorus, sulfur, etc. When we are beating them to make into thin sheet, they will become powder. That property is known as brittle. So we can tell that these non-metals are brittle in nature. That means when we are beating them, they will change into powder form. That character is known as brittle. Okay. So these metals are malleable in nature, but non-metals are brittle. Then what about the ductility? Metals, we know that we studied that they can be made into thin wires. But in the case of non-metals, we cannot make them into thin wire. So they are not ductile. Okay, like that one point is there. In the case of metals, they are producing a sound when they struck on hard object. That property of metal is known as sonorous, isn't it? That we know. But in the case of non-metal, they are not making any sound when they struck on hard substances. So they are not sonorous. Then already we have studied that metals are good conductors of electricity. That is why they are used for carrying electricity and all. But in the case of this non-metal, they are bad conductors or poor conductors of heat and electricity. But here there is an exceptional case, that is graphite. It is a form of carbon. Graphite is made with carbon, but it can conduct electricity. So graphite, even though it is made with a non-metal, it can conduct electricity. It is a good conductor of electricity. Okay. Now metals, they are having high melting point. Most of the metals are having high melting point, but in the case of non-metals, they are not having high melting point. Some of the non-metals are existing as gaseous, or one is existing as a liquid, isn't it? So they are not having that much high melting point. Clear? So these are the physical properties of metals and non-metals. Study this, especially those exceptional cases. Okay?
Now we can compare the physical properties of metals and non-metals. First, about the luster. We know that all metals are having shiny appearance. That is, metals have luster. But in the case of non-metals, most of them do not have luster. Here one exceptional case is there, that is iodine and diamond. Even though they are non-metals, they are having a shiny appearance. Then, about the hardness, metals are generally hard in nature. Here the exceptional cases are sodium and potassium, they are soft metals. In the case of non-metals, they are generally soft in nature except diamond and boron. Then we know that metals are malleable. That means we can make them into thin sheets. And they are ductile also. We can make metals into thin wires. But in the case of non-metals, they are neither malleable nor ductile. Like that, metals are sonorous in nature. That means they are producing a ringing sound when they struck on hard object. But non-metals are not producing any ringing sound, so they are not sonorous. Then about the conduction of heat and electricity. Metals are good conductors of heat and electricity, and silver is the best conductor of electricity. But when we are coming to non-metals, they are generally poor conductors of heat and electricity. But here also one exceptional case, that is graphite. It is a form of carbon, a non-metal, but it can conduct electricity. Then about their melting and boiling point. Metals generally have high melting and boiling point. The exceptional cases are mercury and gallium. Mercury is a liquid at room temperature, and gallium will melt into liquid when we are taking in our palm. So they are having low melting and boiling point. All other metals are having high melting and boiling point. But in the case of non-metals, they are generally having low melting and boiling point. But here also the exceptional case is diamond. It is very hard in nature. It is the hardest natural substance, isn't it? So it is having high melting point. Except diamond, all other non-metals are having low melting and boiling point. Then about their density, metals have high density and non-metals have low density. Then these metals, they are existing as solids. Most of the metals are existing as solids at room temperature, but this mercury and gallium, they are existing as liquid at room temperature. But in the case of these non-metals, they are either solids or liquids or gaseous at room temperature. Non-metals can exist in three different states: solids, liquid and gases. The exceptional case here only one liquid non-metal is there, that is bromine. Okay, some of them are solids and some of them are gaseous. So these are the comparison of physical properties of metals and non-metals. The exceptional cases you have to study well. Okay, thank you.